awesome. Did you guys enjoy day one?
Yeah.
Good. Did you get anything that you plan on doing when you get home?
Yes.
Like what? Guys, give me an example. Somebody yell something out here. We kind of got to know each other now. Like, what do you plan to do when you get home? Virtual coaching. All right, awesome. We had a little plant in the audience there. Anyone else? Something you're going to do, whether it was something from video, something from a system perspective. Do you guys like the top producer panel? Was that cool? I mean, was it like... Here's what I love about those people, and this is the reason why I brought them up, right? I said to you yesterday, everybody has that top producer in their hair who's an absolute prick and, you know, whatever. But those people are so willing to give. They're fun, they're jokey, they're these kind of things. Isn't it nice to know that you can make money and still be a person? That you can still have fun? When I first got into this business, I was being told by all these people about, oh, you don't say that, you don't act like that, you're at the networking thing, you need to go, you need to be like this, you need to whatever. Guys, I am who I am. I hope you are who you are. You know, I'm watching that video and it's funny. I mean, I pick these videos and those videos inspire me. You know, I'm watching that video and it's talking about your life's purpose. What about if you were on your deathbed and your talents, your skills, these things were telling you you never released me, like you were the only one that could have. These are the kind of things that I think about all the time. Have you ever had a situation where you've started to think yourself, or you've been in a situation where you know you should be doing something, or you know you should be doing more, but you're just kind of like lackadaisical, you're just kind of complacent, you didn't really do what you're supposed to do, anybody, right? All the time. Do you know one of the things I think about on a regular basis? Now this is kind of sick, but it's just the truth. There are people, literally right now, laying on their deathbed, praying to God for another second, another minute, another hour, another day, another week, another month. And here we are, sitting here with all this time available to us, and just kind of going, I'll wait. I'll get to it eventually. Sooner or later it's going to happen. When I get more money, when I get more time, when I get more... And yet at that same time, sometimes you have to create contrast in your head. And you've got to go, but wait a second, there is somebody right now. And you remember I said yesterday what creates change? I said inspiration, I said crisis, and I said life change, right? Do any of you know somebody who lived their life a certain way, all of a sudden had a near-death experience, thought they were going to die, and then everything changed? Anybody know somebody like that? Say I. Which one of those three did they experience? Crisis, life, I mean, that was more of a crisis type of thing, right? Why does it always take a crisis? Right? Have you ever stopped? We dealt with finances yesterday, right? Did you guys enjoy talking about finances?
Yes.
And guys, I'm asking that not just so you clap and I feel good. I'm being serious because we're thinking about adding a lot more of that kind of stuff into our program and into the events that we do. And so was that something that's helpful? Would you like to see more details with that, okay?
Yes.
You would. Am I getting 4 people? Because that's not good. Okay. Because four yeses usually means no. Okay? We need it, yeah, we absolutely need it. But you ever thought, like, what if the stuff he was talking about yesterday I started doing 10 years ago? What if I was literally living on 1/3 for my personal expenses and I was saving out of that and my lifestyle went down and I didn't feel the need to compete with everybody and I had that money for taxes and I had that money to spend on marketing? What if I did it 10 years ago, right? That kind of thought process can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. It's a good thing because you kind of go, well, at least I can start now, right? It's a bad thing because sometimes that thought process brings you down a road when you start feeling bad about yourself. And you're like, well, I guess I just, I've dug this hole, I can't do it. And you continually go into that mindset of just, whatever, I'll get to, well, okay. That's when that contrast has to come in and you have to go. There are people laying in their deathbed who wish that they had the opportunity to make the decision that I can make right now. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is this. I may or may not get to my nose, but it's me thinking out loud. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is this. I said there's 3 things that create change, right? Sometimes you have to be the one that creates that change. Sometimes you have to be the one that creates that. What did I say the first one was? Inspiration? Do you know that inspiration doesn't just come from here? Inspiration doesn't just come when you're at a Jared James event. Inspiration doesn't just come when you watch Anthony Robbins online. Inspiration doesn't just come. You were created with everything inside of you to create your own inspiration. But it's all about what you do up. If you don't believe that, have you ever depressed yourself? Have you? Right? Does music have that power? Right? I was at a conference recently, And I said, guys, this is the power that music has. Like, for example, what did I just come out to? Like, did I come out to Celine Dion all by myself? Why did I not do that? Where would you be right now, right? Like, you're gonna be like, I wish I was all by myself. Like, I gotta get out of this godforsaken conference, right? And so, why did we come out to something upbeat? What does that do to you? What happens? You have every ability to create whatever emotion you need inside of you at that moment. Sometimes you need to be somber. I'm not saying every moment is supposed to be rah-rah. Do you know what one of my favorite parts of this whole conference was so far? It was 8:15 last night in my room by myself. Just in there, don't you guys love some time by yourself sometimes?
Yes.
Just kind of recharge, just kind of like room service, football game on, and just zone out. At that moment, do I need to listen to upbeat hip-hop or something? No, at that moment, I needed to create the environment that I needed at that moment to recharge, when I walk out on this stage, is that the moment I'm looking for? No. You have every single thing inside of you that you need to create the emotion that you need for that moment. Doesn't come from me. Doesn't come from... You have every ability to do that. Sometimes it will come from me. You'll be watching one of my videos or someone else's, but it's still triggering something in you. You still hit play. Has anybody ever kind of wondered, like, what is my purpose? This is where nobody answers. Like, no, I got it. But then you're going to talk to me later, and you're going to want to talk to me for 2 hours about your purpose. So let's just... Has anyone ever known somebody who wants to know about their purpose? Anybody ever know somebody? That always gets a much better response. How many of you, out of curiosity, because I'm trying to figure out where I want to go with this, how many of you, out of curiosity, have actually read my book, Get Out of Your Way? Have actually read it? Okay. So I talk about in that book how I think that the word calling has been completely misused. Purpose, I'm sorry. Purpose has been completely misused. We have things like purpose-driven life, and it's all good intentions. But it's always, what is my purpose, right? What's my purpose on this earth? How many of you think your purpose on this earth is to sell houses? Right? You'd be like, what a waste. Like, couldn't I, And the reason why we so many times have issues finding passion for what we're doing is because we're following the wrong equation. It's not about finding that. Purpose isn't calling. Calling is what you're looking for. All right? Purpose is whatever you do on purpose to get to your calling. All right? It's kind of like this. My calling on this earth, I know what it is. You know what it is? To help more of you get to yours. That's what I do. I masquerade as a sales coach and all this other kind of stuff, but really all I'm doing is getting you closer to what your calling is. How I find passion, what I do, my purpose on this earth is everything I do on purpose to get closer to that calling. So what do I do on purpose? I do this right here. What do I do on purpose? I write. What do I do on purpose? I coach. What do I do on purpose? I shoot video. What do I do on purpose? All of these things are things that I do on purpose to get me closer to what? My calling. You see the difference? So it may not be your life's calling to bring someone to escrow. But that is one way on purpose that you fund whatever it is that you're after. That is how you find passion in what you are doing every single day. Guys, don't you love it when you hear someone say like, oh, I just love to go to the gym. Oh, don't you just hate their guts so bad? Right? You smile, you're like, oh, me too. Like, I love the gym. You know what I mean? Like, nobody loves the gym. But exactly what I just explained is what you're doing subconsciously and you don't recognize it. You know what you like? You like going on the beach and feeling okay. You like going to a pool party and feeling okay. You like going to... So what you do on purpose to get to that is going to the gym. And the reason why you like it is because you know it's going to get you to that. You're doing this already. So you may not love every single thing that you are doing every single day. But it's all the things that you're doing on purpose to get to what? Your ultimate calling. What am I trying to do? What am I passionate about? What do I care about? What wakes me up? What really Like, I love what I do. I hope you guys know that. I hope you guys see that. I love what I do. I never would have known I could have done this, right? Nobody's second grade career day when little Johnny wanted to be an astronaut, I was like, I'm going to be a public speaker. Like, like that's the weird kid. Like, I didn't even know that that was an option, right? But through the process of what I'm telling you right now is how I found what I love to do. And I'm going to tell you this too. Probably 3-4 times I was wrong. There was a time when I thought my calling was selling houses and doing, I didn't know. But every once in a while you hit another corner. And because you were willing to follow that path, you hit another corner. And then you follow that path with everything you have because you feel like you're on the right path, and then you hit another corner. Right? But you know what's happening all along the way? I said to you I was probably wrong 3 or 4 times, but you know what I was doing the whole time? I was moving. I was moving towards. You know what drives me nuts is when I run into the same people year after year after year and they want to have this conversation with me. And while they're trying to have this conversation in the last 3 years, they've done zilch. Nothing. Because they're going to wait until a burning bush comes. They're going to wait. Right? It's not okay. Sometimes through just the obedience of following what it is that you're passionate about at that moment and you know is a good thing, it may not be the exact thing you were supposed to be doing, but because of that obedience you move forward and you find your path along the way, and eventually you go, okay, I needed to go from here to here, so it might have gone like this, but I'm not still here. Everything's not a straight road. And you've ever seen that picture? It's cliche now, but I think everybody's seen it, the one like what success looks like, and it's like this. Have you ever seen that picture? Everybody thinks it's this to this. You don't get to see all the screw-ups, right? You don't get to see all the... But that's really, it's just the movement that happens. It's the willingness to keep following the path. It's the willingness to keep asking yourselves the right questions. You know how I know when someone's in trouble? We'll get to real estate talk in a second. You know how I know someone's in trouble in their life and their business? When they're not willing to ask the questions anymore. That's when they're in trouble. When you're not willing to say, should I be here? When you're not willing to say, shouldn't I be doing that? When you're not willing to say, I'm supposed to make this many calls. When you're not willing to say, the moment you're not willing to ask yourself the questions anymore, you're in trouble. You ever seen someone who has a terrible habit, and they've just given up? Right? And they make excuses. So they've been smoking for 40 years, and they're like, well, my grandpa lived to 113 smoking these cigarettes. You ever heard somebody like that? Yeah, but all the stats show us that your grandpa, well, nobody even knows if that was true, but all the stats show us that that's a ridiculous argument. Like, that's absurd. But that person has given up. They're not willing to ask the question anymore. They're not willing to challenge themselves anymore. You see what I'm saying? You can't stop. I am not looking for perfection out of any one of you. But every one of you should have the courage to be able to challenge yourself always. And the answer may not always be what you think it should be. The answer may not always be what it should be. But the moment you're not willing to ask the questions, the tough questions, in your life, in your business, in your relationships, you're in trouble. And you know it. You can fool everybody else, but you know it. You know that you stopped asking the questions. You know that you're not challenging yourself anymore. You know that you've gone into cruise control. And you should care more about yourself than I do, because I care about you guys. Like I say all the time, I don't know that many of you, but I know every one of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know your situations. I know your backgrounds. I know people. So I may not know every one of you personally, but I know every one of you. Make sense? I learned a long time ago you can't care about somebody more than they care about themselves, right? And that's always like, you know, everybody has, that's like my thing. I have to like withdraw from people because my thing will be, I said to my office the other day when we were coming in, and you know, they're like escorting me around and hiding me in places and whatever, and like literally they're saving me from myself, because if I run into somebody and I hear they have a problem, I'm going to want to spend 45 minutes and fix it, right? Like that's how I'm wired. And I have to like protect myself from myself and just go away, otherwise I'm going to want to do that. You got to know like what your things are. You got to know when to protect yourself from yourself, right? And not just deny that it's true, or just accept it as being okay, right? Willing to challenge yourself. This morning though, purpose calling though, I hope you guys get that. Completely different thing. Stop worrying about your purpose. Purpose is whatever you do on purpose. Right now, my purpose is to pick this up. I just did that on purpose. Okay? But your purpose, ultimately, what you choose to do, has ultimately got to get you closer to that thing that you think is your calling. I get a million opportunities, guys, all the time. Rachel will tell you, we get stuff that comes in all the time. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Do you want to do this interview? Do you want to do this whatever? The only litmus test I have, the only thing I'm looking at is, does it get any closer to that call? If so, I'm going to do it on purpose. Right? If it doesn't, might be a great opportunity. Might be amazing. But in this case, all it's going to do is take time away from getting me closer to that thing that I was supposed to be going closer to. That is the litmus test. That alone. Plenty of good opportunities. Many of you are not where you're supposed to be today. Some of you in here will die someday and not do what you were supposed to do because you were too busy doing good things. That was somebody else's torch to take, not yours, even though it was good. Does that make sense? Awesome. So, what did we talk about yesterday? We talked about the difference between these three categories. You guys taking notes? I want to talk about these three categories of where I want you guys to be going within your business. Three categories are, you've got a customer service rep, you've got a salesperson, and then you've got the one that we ultimately want to go to, which is the entrepreneur. Write those down. You've got the customer service rep, you've got the salesperson, and then you have the entrepreneur. The customer service rep is probably the most prevalent one in our industry today. It's the one that most of us fall into. It's the one that requires the least amount of rejection. It's the one that fits that category I say all the time, which is, we as people are water. We are normally going to travel the path of least resistance, right? Whatever's easiest, people who fall into the customer service rep are people who avoid the rejection. They suffer from what I call the second greatest addiction on this planet, which is the addiction to other people's approval. They're people pleasers. They just want you to be happy. They don't want to think that you're going to bash them to anybody. They just want to know before this closes, I did a good job. Did I put out the fires for you? Were you happy to work with me? Is this hitting home with anybody? Okay? Customer service reps. The only problem is, if you had your real estate license on you right now, I'd say, let me know, does it say real estate customer service rep? It's real estate salesperson, right? Not to mention, generally speaking, who gets paid more? Customer service rep or salesperson? Who has more control over their income? Customer service rep or salesperson? The customer service rep is worried about everybody thinking they're slick, everybody thinking they're a salesperson, everybody thinking, I don't want them to think this about me, I might lose business. And in the meantime, their very actions create absolutely no new business. Remember I said yesterday, we build the prisons we live in. We build the boundaries that we live in because of this thing called mindset. And I said, and I'm repeating a lot from yesterday because I want you to hear it over and over and over again. What did I say about mindset? I said it was like what? Rhymes with fair. Air. Mindset. It's like air. You can't touch it, you can't feel it, but without it, you'll die. You might still be breathing, but you're dead. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands. We fall into that category. Just by nature, just by what we see around us. There's the next level, which is good. It's a salesperson. It's what it says on your license. Salesperson makes an effort when there's time. By the way, where's Sean? Sean was a salesperson before he had his children. He wanted his wife to stay home. He said, I knew I had to prospect, and when I got to it, I did it. He at least understood there was a different level, right? He at least knew that I can't be a part of that group. So I'm going to be a salesperson. I'm going to occasionally make the calls. I'm going to do just enough so that I can justify in my own head that I'm trying. Right? I'm going to do just enough. I'm going to try to pay the bills. I'm going to go to a cocktail party and not be embarrassed about my production. I'm going to go... This is how the salesperson is much more interested in being rich than they are wealthy. Two different things. Remember seeing a picture of Shaquille O'Neal on a boat, a yacht with a picture of a guy. He goes, today I figured out the difference between rich and wealthy. He said, I'm rich. He's wealthy. Salespeople generally aren't big picture. They're very much right now. It's the mindset of a salesperson. Go meet them. They're all around. Look what I did today. You know what I did this week? You know what very much today. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to put this much money on. But the third level is the one that I want to focus on all day today. It's the level I want every single one of you at. It's the level that I've thought like this since I was a kid. It's the entrepreneur. See, when I was a kid, if you were a salesperson, you try to get a paper route. But I was the kid who got 8 paper routes and then subbed them out to other kids. It's a true story. I had one little bank and loan. I'd save every dollar I had in a little jar and I'd lend it out. My mother used to come and borrow money from me, and I'd tell her, it's going to cost you 50% by the end of the week. She'd say, 50%? I'd say, then go somewhere else. So I'd give her $5 and get $7.50 back. True story. Lend money to my brothers, lend money to... I always thought like this. Now look guys, some people, I'm not going to lie, this comes more natural than others, but this can be taught. It's a mindset that you fill yourself with every single day. The entrepreneur is much more interested in looking for ways to systematize. They're looking for ways to scale themselves. They're looking for ways to reproduce themselves, to phase themselves out. They're trying to build an asset. I said this yesterday, and think of it in your head right now. You close your business down tomorrow. Could you sell your business? You know what? I do want you to answer. Everybody, and I want you to be honest at the same time. Tomorrow, you close your business. Could you sell it? Yes or no? No. A couple yeses, a lot of no's. Probably a couple misguided yeses too. Because we don't think like that. We're not trained like that, entrepreneurially. What are the multiple streams? Hey guys, sometimes when you see a good deal, it's not for your clients. It's for you. Other streams of revenue. I have like 9 streams of revenue right now. When I was in real estate, I think I had 4. Think about that, maybe a couple more. But most of you aren't even thinking like that. You're just thinking, how many commission checks can I get? How can I pay the bills today? How can I... An entrepreneur is focused on closing, not just selling. Big difference, guys. We love to sell. We love to go to a listing appointment and give them every reason why we're good, but never actually close on them. Here's what we do, here's whatever. When you make a decision, just let us know. You know, we think we're the best option, you know, but we don't want to close. Why? What does closing bring the opportunity for? Rejection. You hear this over and over again? What did you guys hear from the panels, the coaches, the top producers, the over and over and over and over again yesterday? Fear of this, fear of that, fear of this, fear of that. Building the prison that we exist in and then complaining about the bars. Right? Who put me in here? You did. You did. An entrepreneur thinks differently. An entrepreneur understands that I want an asset. I want to reproduce. I don't need to be in charge of everything. I don't need to do the little details. I've got to protect myself from myself because the very nature of an entrepreneur is that type A, like whatever, and now they have to step back and it's difficult. But if it wasn't difficult, you'd all be doing it. But it's worthwhile, which is completely a different thing. Thinking like an entrepreneur is something. I want you guys to write this down. I want you guys putting something in your office or something that you look at every day that basically asks the question, am I acting like an entrepreneur right now? Put something in your office that faces you. Put something on your mirror every day. Put something, am I acting, have I acted like an entrepreneur? Do you know what one of the greatest things that can come from that? Is that so many times, guess what you're going to say? No. Right? One of the greatest things that can happen is that you say no. Because now you know, turn it around. What do I need to change? How do I need to change this mindset? What do I have to do differently? What system have I not implemented? What stream of income have I not looked at? Remember we said yesterday, 5-year plan, 10-year plan? When I talk about sellable businesses, it's about creating a proprietary system within your business that makes it sellable. By the way, that's the next big thing in our industry. You know all the independent brokerages that are getting bought up and such? They're going to start buying teams. That's the next big thing. Mark my words. Teams that have proprietary systems that they can go right in there and say, we want this team. You guys are producing at this level. We'll give you this many $1 million. Mark my words. Some of you 5 years from now, 10 years are going to go, oh my God, I wish I listened to him. Oh my God, I wish I listened to him. And you didn't. Please hear my words, okay? So guys, we're going to have, I am super excited about today, like you have no idea. I have nothing but friends coming up all day. Friends who know their stuff, okay? You're going to hear from some amazing people. You're going to see, today is going to be a lot of hands-on, on the screens, like here's how this works, here's how whatever, ask your questions, like all those products you paid for and you never use, that's got to stop. I said at a conference recently, I said, look, after a while, if you've purchased a lot of tools, you're not using any, there's only one tool remaining. Some of you got that. Just jabbing a little bit, just jabbing. Poking the bear. So what I want from you guys today, I always ask for commitment because I want you to like physically like mean it, right? Today, if you have questions, I want you to ask them, okay? The products that you get to see, I want you to actually use them. I don't put these in front of you, these products, because we're going to make a ton of money on them. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. We give you these tools because they're necessary for you to run a business. Guys, could you do your job without a car? Yeah, go ride a bus. How's that going to go? Look, you can how to ride a bus to work, real estate career, go for it. It's not going to work out too well. All of these tools that we're showing you, Deductor for $99 a year, are you freaking kidding me? Listings to leads for $30 a month, Wise Agent $25 a month, it's ridiculous. But they are necessary tools to get you where you need to go. If you don't use them, so ask your questions, pay attention. Can I ask for that? Awesome. We cover one more thing with you guys here. If you've enjoyed the conference so far, raise your hand. Awesome. It'd be embarrassing if you didn't. Conference next year, 2016, is going to be, I sound like a pubescent boy, is going to be in Dallas. Just the reaction. Awesome. So here's what we're doing, guys. Next year is going to be more expensive, though. We're going to, it's going to be, I think, $3.99 a ticket. But for you guys, we're going to do like a 2-day thing. If you want to go to Dallas, the dates are up there. I don't even know what they are. What do the dates say? Somebody tell me. October, they're not up there, what are they? October 26th to 28th. All right, thank you. October 26th, 27th, 28th, 2016. We're going to be in Dallas. For the next 2 days, if you go to jaredjamestoday.com/Dallas, you can get your tickets for $199. We can't wait. All right, every year we're going to keep doing things better and better and better and figure out what we can do better and better for you guys. When this conference is over today, I want you sending your feedback. You know, I love this, but if we do this different than we do, we want this to get better and better and better and become the event for you that every year you're going, what can I go get from that? What can I go do? So